Alright, so I went and saw the new Hellboy, 2019 Hellboy, the remake that only 11 years ago we had Hellboy 2, Ron Perlman's second Hellboy movie, and then we got this movie. I'm gonna flat out say it, I hated this movie. I seriously, I have not seen a movie like this from a Hollywood, franchise that's this bad. In a little bit, because the way this movie is, I'll give a couple positives to this. I think David Harbour is fine in some parts of the movie. He's got a couple jokes that are fine. It's cool seeing Mila Jovovich. This is kind of a creative movie in terms of what they do in all the movie, and the gore is kind of good. But this movie to me pissed me off in the way where it's like, I haven't read any of the comics. I haven't read anything Hellboy related. I've watched the two movies, the other two Ron Perlman ones, which I actually really liked. Even though I haven't seen them in a while, I remember really liking both of them and thinking they were both great. And this one suffers from being annoying and stupid and just loud and boring. It really suffers from being so incredibly dumb. There's no artistic merit to it, like Guillermo del Toro. It's not the same like that. And I know I shouldn't rank it on oh, it's because it's a remake of these other ones. This one doesn't even really feel like a remake. It literally feels like you could connect them. And again, I haven't seen the other two in a while, and I know that things won't mesh together, but David Harbour looked just like Ron Perlman, but with a little less better makeup. And the plot and how it looks and the movie feels, it feels like the other two movies, but without artistic merit, without better writing, without better characters. It just, for some reason, this one rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know why I couldn't stand this one. This one really, because it was so ADD and so annoying and obnoxious throughout the movie, everything about the movie was just obnoxious. There were so many random things that would happen. The movie is just a mess in terms of how it's cut and how it feels. It's one of those ADD movies where, I know most movies do this nowadays, but you can't hold on a shot for more than 2 seconds. Literally, I was so annoyed at this movie that I was watching it wow, there's 2 seconds, cut, 2 seconds, cut, 2 seconds, cut. It's so ADD that it ruins it for me. And I know a majority of movies do this nowadays, especially Hollywood movies. But this one to me just annoyed me more about it, because I already didn't like the movie, because I already didn't really like the characters, because I didn't like the annoyingness of it. And it's trying to harp on something like Deadpool, where the Ron Perlman Hellboys, and again, I haven't read any of the comics, the Ron Perlman Hellboys were funny too, and kind of self-aware too, but this one, they have lines one girl will say, "Oh, we gotta kill off the enemy so she won't be in the sequel." And it's just, it feels so jarring that they put in a Deadpool-like line in a meta text of it's relating to outside of the movie, and the other jokes aren't doing that. They're just relating to the movie itself and the universe it's in. But jokes like that are so stupid. And again, I love Mila Jovovich, but she is just so she's fine in what shit she was given, but her character is just so bland and forgettable. And again, it's really incredibly forgettable, and it makes me so annoyed. I don't know why this one pissed me off as much as it did, but last night I watched this and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? What is this shit? Seriously. This just didn't have any charm to it. This didn't have much charm to it. This didn't have any really likable things about it. Besides, some of the gore is cool and it's kind of creative. But it's just such a mess, haphazard of a movie where, you could tell how many producers were involved with this movie, where they were just, we're gonna add in this random scene, and add in this random scene, and we don't care if they mesh together. We're just gonna add all this shit together for this 2-hour movie which, by God, 2 hours. It took so long to get over this movie. Like, I was just so bored throughout it. But we're going to put in all this random shit and we're not going to be concise. We're just going to put random shit in the movie. Like, here's a scene of a backstory thing. Here's a plot about a girl that he saved as a kid, but then they don't show that until way later in the movie. Which makes me forget about that until, it happened later. So it's just a movie that suffers on being such a mess. Like, it has so many things about it that are just so haphazardly put together, and it's already not a great movie anyways, that had fine, like, performances. Like, the performances are fine. Like, they're not awful, they're just fine. But the movie just has everything, all this shit happening at once. It's so stupid and annoying, and there's so many random things in it that just piss me off that I just really could not stand this movie. I hated it. And I hate saying that I hate movies, because I really try to find something. And I did say the gore was good and it was kind of creative, but it really suffered from being everything else a really bad Hollywood movie is. So I thought this one sucked. Tell me down below if you see this movie, what you think about it, or if you are going to see it. Tell me what your opinion is afterward. And thank you guys so much for watching.